What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man, that being my pops. Shout out to my mother and my grandmother for helping raise me too. Make sure you go follow at EMAX Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. We'll not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful, illustrious sports world. We're excited that the NFL season is here. We're excited that college football is here. NBA around the corner. High school sports is getting kicked off with a new school year. Yeah, man, we back. Had a great, well-rested break, but now we coming to you nonstop every week, finishing off the year strong, man. What is a podcast without your brother? And we at full strength tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to be fun.
Big brother Iron Man, except I don't die in the end game. Tapping in. Twitter, Instagram, Shine Izzo, Shine Surgical Picks coming soon to a wallet near you.
Yo, it's the host with the most that blows the most smoke. Black Peace, the rap plug, the hip hop plug. You already know. Be sure to go check out Talking Smoke on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you can get your dope podcast from. Be sure to go check it out, man. Let's go.
All right,
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening,
I'm
depending on where you are in the world. It is the one and only Sedacious Xavier Miles. And I know I usually come in and I have gratitude and I say thank you so much for rocking with us. And I do appreciate that. I still do. To all my people who were hoping to hear that tonight, I'm sorry. Tonight I'm going in a different direction. And I just want to say, we them niggas, man. Let me just go ahead and just get that out the way. We them niggas, I'm sorry. I wanted to say we them guys, but I just had to keep it a buck real quick and just say we them N-words, man. If you want to model a black man behind somebody, you can pick one of us and model that black man behind him, and he'll grow up to be successful. I promise you. We them guys.
Oh man, the NFL is here. We recording this a week before NFL gets kicked off, man. So y'all
Bro, be quiet.
Get all of our NFL takes and analysis as we get ready to head into another great NFL season. To start us off, whoever wants to take it first, what storylines are y'all paying attention?
Whoa!
What storylines in the NFL this upcoming season are y'all most excited about or looking to pay the most attention to?
The Texans rise to relevancy, and I don't even know if it's a dark horse Super Bowl run, but I'm looking forward to the continued success and growth of CJ Stroud and the Texans team as a whole. So very homer response, but I think the NFL world is ready for something different as well. And as much as I love to see Patrick Mahomes three-peat, now that CJ Stroud has arrived in the world, I'll probably be taking my talents back to Houston. I know I said I was giving up on this, and I know I said I was jumping back on the bandwagon prior to last season. For the record, that was coming into the draft that I said I was getting back on the bandwagon. So, yeah, man, just the continued ascension of the Texans, man.
Piggying back off Shanghai Izzo's take talking about the Chiefs, the storyline that I am intrigued to see play out.
This nigga got Chiefs out of my storyline, but go ahead.
Well, you said as much as you would like to see Patrick Mahomes three-piece, so that's why
I would because I still, I'm still a Mahomie.
Right.
I'm a homie and yeah.
So did a whole disposition. He was like, speaking of the Chiefs.
He said, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Nah, man. So for me, the storyline I'll be paying more attention to is like towards the end of the season as it relates to the Kansas City Chiefs. Going with history, right? No NFL team has ever three-peated, and let alone the fact that teams that have went back-to-back, they didn't even make it to the Super Bowl the following year. So I am intrigued to see how the Kansas City Chiefs are going to weather the storm in terms of going up against history. And I will be curious to know, the reason I think this year is like very unique for the Chiefs, apart from like, chasing history, is towards the end of the season. I hope it doesn't happen, but if it were to happen, I wouldn't be surprised. The Chiefs are the cash cow of the NFL, right? So they got a multitude of primetime games. I wouldn't be surprised if they got the most primetime games this season. But towards the end of the season, you got the Chiefs playing on a Friday, a Saturday, and a Wednesday. How Andy Reid is going to adapt to rest and recovery and like an obscure schedule with in some of those situations like a little recovery time from one game to the next toward the end of the season. I'm curious as to know if the Chiefs may run into injury type problems with being able to have to play these obscure times toward the end of their schedule. And I feel like, again, because they are a cash cow, the NFL is about to send them through a gauntlet of like, hey, we run y'all primetime like Wednesday. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? So for them to have to deal with that type of awkward or not common schedule towards the end of the season, with those types of games, I wonder. I'm going to be paying attention to see if injuries may take effect on the Kansas City Chiefs and rip them away from history and being able to either three-peat or all in all even reach the Super Bowl for the third straight year. So that's what I'm gonna be paying most attention to coming into this season, outside of the Texans, of course.
First of all, usually the low man, so I usually try to pitch in third. I feel like kind of a shout out to the Texans, of course, Super Bowl potential. But since that's kind of the hot topic on the podcast, I kind of went to the NFC East, and I'm really curious to see what the Eagles are going to do. And that's mainly because the tush push has been banned. And I'd like to see where Jalen Hurts, how he's going to be moving, knowing that like that was kind of like the little bit of that anchor of that offense.
Huh? They banned it? They didn't ban it.
Yes, they did. They banned it last year. The announcement, they didn't ban it already?
No.
I think so, bro.
They didn't ban it yet. Nah, they didn't. But Kellen Moore is the new offensive coordinator, so Jalen Hurts, 4,000-yard passing season loading because I got A.J. Brown and both of him on my fantasy team this year. So,
and I'm kind of just curious of how it's going to play out. Like just in general. Like also Jason Kelce, he retired to where that was like one of the main reasons why that play even worked as well as it did and was so successful. The combination of Jalen Hurts and Jason Kelce. And I'm just kind of curious to see, the new direction, trying to keep the receivers happy. Barkley being there and, making that impact. Plus, you got the powerhouse of the Cowboys and dealing with them twice in the season and just kind of seeing how they hold up. As far, that's kind of like a little bit strange for me because I really stay away from the NFC. But, AFC is pretty much entertaining as it is. I think it's, I want to give a little attention to the NFC. So. But is the tush push banned?
No,
I know you're looking it up.
Yeah, no, tush push is not banned.
The AFC is like
okay. They talked about it. My bad.
Well, yeah, it was reported that Roger Goodell didn't like it, and so people started to speculate that it was going to be banned because Roger Goodell didn't particularly care for it. But it's currently, as it stands today, as we add in the podcast, it is here to stay for the 2024 football season.
But I do predict a low percentage since Jason Kelce isn't there, being the strategic guy, knowing how it works and the science to it. So, yeah.
Talking about that science real quick, the Eagles had a 93.5% success rate running the play in 2022, and it slightly decreased last season where it dropped to 90% to a 90% success rate. So, it'll be interesting to see if it continues to slightly decline now that you have your Hall of Fame no longer taking effect with that play and its success and track of Jason Kelce.
I predict under 75% on
Sheesh.
that. 75. And it may be 74.5, and I'll take it, but I'm saying under 75. That is
For
a
the
Hall of Famer. That is a guy that knows what he's doing. He's been in the game for years. And I think he was one of the main reasons why it worked. Plus, you have Barkley back there as well to kind of throw off that chemistry.
for the
Oh yeah, somebody who squats 500 plus pounds makes a ton of sense. So I think I don't think they run it as much because Kellen Moore, again, he's going to be airing it out. Might I add this little side note to the audience that Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator when when the Cowboys had the #1 scoring offense in the league. So it's going to be interesting to see that Eagles offense now that added another NFC East wide receiver in Johan Dotson from the Redskins. So they got a nice trio of wide receivers. I don't think it's better than the Texans trio, but a really good trio nonetheless. So I just think I don't really think they run that play as much anymore. I don't think they're going to be in a lot of situations to where they're going to need to run it. My humble opinion.
But also keeping that year.
So
Oh, yeah.
you can say that maybe I watch a little bit too much Hard Knocks, but I'm excited to see Caleb and Keenan Allen shred up the defenses. That should be fun to watch, and to see if the Bears gamble pays out. That's what I'm watching for. And hint to my Roy pick. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Oh, other than the Dallas Cowboys, of course.
I mean, obviously, I always say like the people want to hear. How is the Dallas community feeling? I know CD just signed his contract. What's the pulse of the Dallas community? What storylines are y'all looking at coming into this year?
Oh no, bro. Honestly, everybody's kind of laying dormant. You know what I'm saying? It's typical. We're not finna be on no rah-rah. We're going back to the Super Bowl. We haven't seen enough in the offseason to get behind that. And so really how we feeling is up until it blatantly looks like we either need to replace the quarterback or we don't, or we need to figure something else out. I've always said that it was the defensive line. I've always said that it's too easy to run the ball on us. And then when we get crushed at the line of scrimmage, at the end of the game, when the score looks like the score does, we want to put it all on Dak. Though Dak does have somewhat to do with the way that the score looks, just we can't put it all on him. And so it's just whatever. Just however far we get.
I have a question. Does this kind of reset the Cowboys fan base to a certain lower level, knowing that they kind of peaked last year regular season wise, to where like no matter how good they are during the regular season, like that hope of like, oh man, we got it, is kind of chill and moderate, respectfully?
Well, I would say so. Because before, when we were eliminated, you could always point to some indiscrepancy. The last time we got eliminated, it was very evident that we were undermatched, right? So, that game alone made it to where when we started the season off, we just seeing how good we get. Don't let us win 2 in division games. Don't let us win 2. That's all it takes. 2. Because then we get 3 in a row. Oh man, we're going to the Super Bowl then. We're going in.
So that's when low key, that's when it starts up that energy. So it's not just
oh yeah.
So it's an actual science of the whole, like, we getting back there. It's not just, hey, it's every year like the typical non-Cowboys fans views. It's like, no, bro, we
there's
get
not
actual
so much
reasons to get
delusion
there.
with the Cowboy fans who have their own brains. There's not so much delusion behind the fanatics, right? There's a little bit of intellect that says, no, let's see how the product looks before I go talking my ish for real. You know what I mean? But more Cowboy fans are delusional because they're old and they seen the Cowboys win Super Bowls and all this other stuff. So me, what I see, I don't see a Super Bowl contending team yet. Maybe we'll piece it together as the season goes on. And of course, game after game we win, more shit we're gonna talk. Excuse my language, respect the game. I apologize.
You talking about don't like let y'all get hot or get, 2 consecutive in division games or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
Y'all have the 22nd ranked most difficult strength of schedule in terms of like strength of schedule. Y'all have the 22nd most difficult schedule coming into this season.
I'd like to disagree with that simply because we playing the Texans this year.
Right. You don't play the Texans 17 times out of the year. So
Right, but we play y'all every 4 years. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we have the 28th toughest schedule. So yeah. But yeah,
Right.
I know we have a first place schedule this year because we won a division. We got a strong strength of schedule. I think we got like the 8th most difficult schedule, I want to say.
This like this Sharp Football Analytics, they got it at 28 ranked. Let me see if I can find another one that says indifferent.
Yeah, let's not get them no publicity made loud and wrong.
I love how when you get paid, now all of a sudden you'll cherish the moment of being a Cowboy forever. I love it.
Yeah,
Get your money, black
134
man.
million.
Get your money, black man.
Yeah,
Get your money,
they
black man.
right here, NFL.com, they got the Texans tied with the 4th toughest schedule.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I knew we had like a top 10 schedule this year because again, we won first place in the
I was
division.
reading it in like inverse.
I think you're inverted.
Yeah,
So I think you're saying 32 teams,
right.
28 would be the 4th. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Sorry if that confused the listeners.
28 easiest schedule is what you mean.
Yeah.
If you read it backwards like that. So 28 the easiest would literally mean 4th hardest.
4th, correct.
Okay, thank you. Because I'm like, no, wait, we playing the Texans this year.
Yeah, so
Cowboys, y'all have the 12th toughest schedule. Y'all tied with the Rams and the Jets for the 12th most difficult schedule coming into this season. Cowboys, Rams, 49ers, all tied with 12th toughest schedule. Yeah. So transition over into we can start with the Cowboys, talking about those. Don't let y'all get those in division game consecutive wins. I'll give it talking about the NFC East, Cowboys.
Oh, we winning that. Oh,
Cowboys, Eagles, Redskins, who else?
The Commanders.
Giants. I feel like it's between the Cowboys and the Eagles, right? Who do y'all think is winning the NFC?
Eagles are gonna win the NFC East.
We'll see.
NFC North is going to be pretty competitive. The Bears, the Vikings, Packers, the Lions. For me, I like to see how Jordan Love builds off last season with the Eagles. I mean, not the Eagles, with the Packers and how they finished the season, getting that big time win over the Cowboys in the playoffs. Detroit Lions also making the playoffs. Dan Campbell is still y'all head coach though. But Chicago Bears, bro, their receiving core.
That's what I got winning.
Their receiving core, bro. I don't like they is doing everything in their power to make sure they win and put Caleb Williams in the most advantageous, as Sean Hart would say, most advantageous position possible to win.
Bear down.
Yeah,
and the defense ain't too shabby neither.
True indeed. Who y'all got coming out of NFC North? I'm gonna ride with the unexpected. He gotta adjust, but I don't want to make it seem like he can't have a CJ Stroud type of season with the pieces they got around him.
I'm gonna still go out and say the Lions, bro, and here's why. I think when it gets later into the season and when you really have to run the ball, the Lions dual-headed, two-headed monster backfield of David Montgomery and with the superstar emergence of Jahmyr Gibbs, I think it's going to propel them past most teams because if you do look at the North, like you slated out, I mean, they're stacked at the receiver positions. They have at least two, really good to great receivers on each of those teams within that division. But I think what separates them is number one, the quarterback. And I'm going to respect Jared Goff in this regard. The man he has made it to a Super Bowl. We can't sit and disrespect him. You know what I mean? Like, Jared Goff is still the best quarterback in that division as it currently stands today. I don't think it's hyperbole on that. I would still take Jared Goff above Jordan Love as it stands now. I know Jordan Love had a great last 8
Coming out
games for the season, right? But it's his 4th year, bro. It's about time he start putting it together. I know it's, first year starting, all of that good stuff, but at the same time, it's to be expected if you sat behind Aaron Rodgers a few years, but still gonna get a nod to the Lions, especially when the weather does become a factor. You're gonna always be able to lean on that run game, which is gonna set up the play action pass. And again, I think the Lions still have Sam Laporta, which is a top 5 tight end already within the league, and then you have a top 5 wide receiver, or at least the production would say that, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I think off that, and then that defense wasn't too shabby either. I think they still pull away in the North, but it'll be closer than people think.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'll ride with the Lions. I'll favor them over a rookie quarterback.
I think that play action off that run game is still gonna be vicious, bro, because Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are 2 dogs, bro, and I don't foresee that going away anytime soon. Still relatively young, both of them.
NFC South, Bucks, Saints, Panthers, Falcons. I would pick the Falcons if what's my boy name? Penix, Michael Penix.
Michael, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. If Penix can get the starting job over Captain Kirk.
Yeah, I like the Falcons. I forget his name.
Bijan Mustard.
No, not even
Greg London.
Bijan.
Kyle Pitts.
No, sir. Raheem Morris. I like him as a head coach. I really like him as a head coach, being in that position. I know he was highly revered as really the second head coach, being on that championship team with the Los Angeles Rams. Like his energy, the players have, hold him in high regard. Like I say, seems to be like a real good type player coach. So I would really like to see Michael Penix go ahead and start developing. I really think Kurt only got maybe at max 3 bad games before we start to hear those boos in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But if Michael Penix can start, I would like to pick the Falcons to come out of the NFC South. But apart from that, Mike Evans and them coming off the year that they had, them ups. I forget what they upset the Eagles last year, and having a their quarterback. I would pick the Bucks to come out this year, come out of the NFC South over the Saints and the Panthers. The Panthers is the only team in the NFL with no primetime game this year. Yeah. Next
I
up.
guess I'm gonna go with the Saints just cause.
When the Saints come marching in.
I like the Falcons to win that NFC North.
NFC North. I mean, sorry.
Excuse me, NFC South.
Yeah. NFC West. Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals.
Niners. Super dark horse Cardinals. Because that defense was very sneakily good last year, but Niners still got the best roster in that division, hands down, top to bottom. Not too much to add out there.
49ers.
Here we go.
Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
we
can't really
don't
call it.
have there's no reason to pick against it. Would be unless somebody else has a valid reason.
Unless you just want to dare to be different and just say some shit.
AFC East, your Jets, your Dolphins, your Bills, your Patriots.
Got the Jets, man. Jets. Jets. Aaron
Right.
Rodgers stay healthy. Garrett Wilson about to have a Devontae Adams-esque like season. The fact that he's been over 1,000 yards with the quarterbacks that he's had, I definitely think he has a chance to go 1,500 plus with ease. Sign me up for the Jets winning the AFCs.
I see the return of the Patriots back.
All right, come on, bro.
I'm gonna do it. The Lions 2.0.
Is this because of Drake?
Yes, sir.
Load up the Draco, man.
That's my rookie of the year. Loading Drake May. You heard it from me first. This is like my dark horse pick with the Lions last year that I never vocalized on the podcast. I'm saying it now: win, lose, or draw. Win, lose, or draw. Hey, I felt bad last year. Nobody wanted to believe me. Drake May is gonna
picks
be.
that were announced, I did pick the Chiefs to go back to the Super Bowl and win it. And
hey, I'm not living in the past. I'm just making sure I make a brighter future.
Caucasian fellow named Kevin. I forget the brother's last name, but insert that meme. But I get you with the unstated pick that was right, but never told anybody that nobody ever knew about.
You got to itch it in stone. Speak now, forever hold your peace, man.
Yeah, I'm going with the Jets.
Okay, you got the Jets too. Yeah.
That defense is too legit, and with a good offense, they could be a real problem. That defense was too legit last year.
Yeah, that defense had them in like a multitude of games last year. They just didn't have
that they shouldn't have even been in.
The offense just couldn't like help them get over the hump. So yeah, why no respect or no liking in the
to Buffalo?
No, not Buffalo. I'm
talking about Dolphins. Because they don't travel well. And they've proven it year after year. They are an inside stadium team. If they have to play in inclement weather, if they have to play in the elements, they fold. Go back and watch the tape year after year after year, man. Same old shit. And Tua ain't built for no element type. He's not a quarterback that has a strong cannon of an arm that's going to cut through wind and he be able to rifle and play through the elements. He is very much so he's a great system quarterback. And he got paid off being in a great system that allowed him to play to his strengths with the offensive coordinator who knows how to plan around it, with Tua being very accurate in the short and intermediate passing game and being very efficient in doing so, and then having a deep threat, which is ironic because Tua isn't known for his deep ball. But pause. Man, it's tough sledding on this podcast. But yeah, man, I'm just not a believer in the Dolphins at all, man. They'll find a way to let you down. They will definitely find a way to let you down.
AFC North. Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns.
Ravens.
Yeah, just like 49ers. Niners. Ravens. Raven flock.
I love a healthy Ravens team, man, but that's going to be a division that they constantly beat up on each other too, man. I'm actually rooting for Deshaun Watson to have a bounce back 2021-esque type Texans season. I want that for him, just to prove all of the massage parlors wrong. That he do still belong here. That he is still an elite quarterback, even though he hasn't been able to show that over the last couple of years.
You saying that? I think this is last year to show it. Is that a reach of a statement?
I don't think that's a reach, bro, because bro, it'll be his third year. Like, bro, if you ain't showing it by now, hey, man, it may not be there anymore. So we may have to take you for who you are, man. You done robbed these folks for $230 clean. I'm talking about guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Boy got every crumb off the gristle. So got to be this year, man. Got to be this year.
And you know what sucked about last year is like him being injured. Like that was the perfect storyline of all storylines. The Browns going to Houston in the first round of the playoffs. It's just like
sick.
Yeah. But no, I got the Ravens too. I've been saying this all off season. It's gonna be tough sledding. I feel like if you get down by, let's say, 2 scores against the Ravens, because like all I see is run, and run again. Like time of possession, I think they're gonna own very handedly against any opponent with King Henry and Lamezi in the backfield.
Very likely.
So they beat out the Browns.
Browns, Steelers, Bengals. Joey Crackback healthy.
And the Bengals is in there too. Man, it's been racking my brain. I don't know whether to pick the Browns or the Ravens. I'm gonna take a stab in the dark. I'm gonna go Ravens. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go Browns.
I was say I don't think you need the dark to pick it. But
need the dark.
I mean, we got 2 more, which I feel like are pretty like clear cut. But AFC West,
the Raiders. No, I'm joking.
I do like Antonio Pierce getting a full year as the head coach there, though. I do like that for them.
Yeah, no quarterback. Give me Mahomes next.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer for her, right?
Yeah, it's.
Who's
the
right.
fourth one?
Go ahead.
Who's the fourth one?
Broncos, Chargers, Raiders.
Oh, absolutely. Chiefs.
Chiefs. Yeah, I mean,
I'm trying to figure out who Justin Herbert gonna throw it to.
Lad McConkey, 4-3 guy out of UGA, who's don't want to give him a white receiver comp because he's faster than all those other guys I was about to name. Think a good comp.
That's the tight end, right?
Huh?
That's the tight end, if I'm not mistaken.
Lad McConkey is the slot receiver that they drafted out of Georgia, who runs 4.38, I believe. And I think he runs 4.39. But anyway, he's still a 4.3 guy. I think his comp was Emmanuel Sanders. I feel like if he can go be Emmanuel Sanders his rookie year, he'll quickly become Justin Herbert's new favorite target with the leaving of Keenan Allen within free agency. So, or did he get traded?
Chicago
traded
him. I think it was free agency, bro.
He was wanting to get paid, but they wouldn't pay him, so he ended up.
I don't know if it was. Yeah, I don't remember. I think they traded him because they didn't want to pay him, and he was gonna probably end up leaving in free agency. So it's just like get something for him now.
Right. Exactly. Like he had 1 year left on his deal.
AFC South, right? So we all, 3 of us know who we picking to win the AFC South. I don't know how Sedacious feels.
Nah, bro.
Okay, all 4.
I respect the game.
All right,
Tennessee Titans.
No,
absolutely not. Houston all day. Continue. I'm sorry. I'm a clown.
All right, so this is why
Andre Johnson.
the Colts are not going to win, right? The reason the Colts isn't going to
So
win
this is why these niggas suck. Let me go down.
is because I believe Anthony Richardson, he got hurt early in the season, and like all of those reps that he could have got and that experience he could have got being able to play, it got delayed, and now he has to come back and try to gain back some of those reps. So I feel like there's going to be a sense of like being rusty as he gets ready to come back from the injury. So I think that's going to take some time. I think that's going to cost them to win some games as a result. So get the Colts out of here. My brother, Mr. Joel, yeah, not, you know how I feel about the Colts. Tennessee Titans.
I don't believe in Mayo, man.
They're in this is a rebuilding year for them. So like, let's just
No, they kind of low key going for it. A lot of acquisitions on the defensive side of the ball. And L'Jarius Sneed, former Super Bowl champion, All-Pro, elite All-Pro corner.
100%.
Had a acquisition of Calvin Ridley, a former Pro Bowl wide receiver. Tony Pollard, TP, little washed in my opinion, lot washed actually.
Dang.
TP.
It's only like year 4 for him. He already washed. Is it for you? Like, yeah.
It's not year 4 for him, bro. He been in the leagues for
about 3 years.
I feel like he only been a starter for
bro.
like 2 years though. Like last year,
he's been in the league for like 6 years, bro. How long you gonna
Tony Pollard?
Yes.
Because he was backing up.
He was backing up Zeke for a minute, bro. For a long time.
I mean, it's
I want to say he backed up Zeke for
his
like 2
years as
years.
a starter. But
I think he backed up Zeke for like 3-4 years, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was counting his life in terms as a starter. But I mean, you can't get rid of those years he was a backup. I mean, yeah, I get it.
But yeah, if you just look at him, bro, explosiveness looks gone. He used to be the lightning to Zeke's thunder, but I don't see it anymore. I don't see the suddenness. I don't see the quick change of direction. I don't see the change of pace. I just don't see it. I think Taji Spears is by far, their best option out of the backfield. Yeah, look it up. Tony Pollard on his 7th year.
let me click on it. I was looking at that roster as a whole.
I can't find my Google Chrome.
Yeah, he 27, been in the league since 2019.
5 years. 5 years.
The window for a good running back is pretty small.
He got hurt though, bro. He took a major. I think he tore his Achilles, bro. Didn't he rupture his Achilles?
I get it.
Yeah, he got hurt real bad.
Bro.
So that slowed him down.
Plus injuries. Yeah.
For a running back, bro, that's significant. And I like Tony Pollard, especially coming out of Memphis. Very explosive back. Can catch the ball out of the backfield, but
just a flanker.
Hey, it's cold out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Only reason I canceled them out, despite their acquisition, is like I feel like they're rebuilding. You got a new head coach. You lose Derrick Henry, Will Levis, year 2. Will there be chemistry there with the receiving core and Calvin Ridley? Who knows? Long story short, I'm not threatened by them. Let's get them out the way. Then that leaves Jacksonville. I don't think they won it. I think if they were really going to turn a corner and be something, it would have happened last year. But they just nutted up under pressure towards the end of the season.
Coach Johnson, if you watching, if you listening,
he would tell you he's no longer a Jags fan, but I'm pretty sure that'll change at some point.
Oh man,
they didn't push him away from the game. Yeah, man, they're just mediocre at best at this point. Like whatever hopes you want to have for them, them when they came back from 21-0 in the playoffs like 2 years ago.
That was because they were going up against the poverty Coach Staley led Chargers, the guy who
Yeah,
will
man.
never be a head coach again in the league.
That was the highlight of like their franchise for quite some time. I think I don't know what they need, but yeah, not worried about them. I think they're just going along to get along. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if they just plummeted and start trying to tank for like newer pieces. Um, uh, yeah, man. But nah, shout out to Coach Johnson. I know I used to run some of them Jaguar plays props by him last year, so he helped me with those. But yeah, not worried about them. Texans, we take the division and it's not even close. First round by yeah, man. So that is how those are our picks, obviously, for the division. And I want to have this conversation now. I was under the impression that we hands down, not even close, obviously, fandom had the best receiving core in the league, that being the Texans. But I have to retract that statement only because I would give credence to the 49ers still having like their receiving core and it being a Super Bowl, a core that's reached the Super Bowl.
Who their third receiver?
You say that again, my bad.
Who was the 49ers' third receiver?
Jennings.
No.
I tried.
No.
Hey, I tried.
Yeah, but it wasn't successful.
Hey, it is what it is. I mean, I would be smart to say McCaffrey.
Yeah, Debo, C-Mac, George Kittle is like,
bro. No, we're not looping running backs and tight ends into that. I'm talking strictly. You play.
I feel like. Go ahead.
I'm talking strictly receivers. I'm talking about guys on the outside, slot guys. Like specifically, your position is wide receiver. So solely off that alone. Now, if you go as far as like the passing game,
tight end don't count at all.
No, we're going receiving corps.
Okay, all right.
I mean, is Debo technically a receiver?
Yeah, I mean that's his receiver. That's
the thing. That's the real question. Like, that's the
Debo Samuel is still he done got their wide receiver money, so they paid him like a receiver. They didn't pay him like a running back. His home position is receiver, but yeah, man, I still think the Texans are one. I think, in my personal opinion, I think the Eagles are a close second with the acquisition of Jahan Dotson, receiver from the Redskins or the Commanders, whatever floats your boat.
Not even for the sake of trying to like make a case for the Niners. I think you got to include tight end.
No, bro.
You have
on any list that has gone and been a conversation on this offseason, nobody has lumped in. Yeah, let's just no. If we could talk about tight end separate, do they have a top 3 tight end in the league? Absolutely, the Niners do, man. George Kittle is a monster, right? Second best tight end in the league. But
I feel offensive weapons that you have to throw to. I feel like that's a fair.
That's a different question than saying who got the best receiving course. Because I'm talking about guys who play receiver. Guys who play receiver, I think hands down, you gotta say the Texans, bro.
Yeah, if we strictly like receive.
If you just go off the numbers from last year, you just gotta say the Texans.
Yo.
Wait. So AJ Brown still with the Eagles?
Yeah, AJ
Brown. Is, bro. I'm just saying.
AJ Brown, Devontae.
I said the Eagles as a close second.
Then you got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore,
Adunze. Keenan Allen gained 25 pounds this offseason. He looked a little slower, bro. I
don't know about that.
Now, are we saying receiver with quarterback combo, or are we just saying receivers?
No, just the trio. Just the
you
X,
need
Y,
a
and
nigga
Z.
to throw him the ball. So I think it
Well,
goes
yeah,
without
like
saying that he's
assuming there's a quarterback that's going to be able to utilize the tools that they have allotted to them, like incorporating.
the
Just the X,
assumption
Y,
is
and
these
Z.
niggas get the ball.
I'm not trying to be on no hating ish, but I think the Eagles top y'all.
Pause first and foremost.
Yeah, I'll pause it
But
for you.
No, I would not like if you just go strictly receivers, I'm giving us number one. Now, if you incorporate full arsenal of like offensive weapons to throw to, I'll give respect to them like having most of their core intact and that being the Niners. After that, put us right there.
No, I disagree. Simply because you got to pick somebody out of your receiving core that's better than either one of those other three that's in the Eagles receiving core.
So Diggs not better than Brown?
Who?
Diggs not better than AJ Brown?
Okay, I'll give you that one. But now
So
the
all right. So if that's the
Stephon
case, we
Diggs,
got him out the way. If that's we got the Eagles out the way.
I
Is
don't
Diggs
know
go
if
Izzo?
I don't know if Stephon Diggs is just definitively better than AJ Brown. I think that's tough. I think AJ Brown is younger. And if you look at the numbers, yes, Stephon Diggs. I don't know. I don't even know if Stephon Diggs had more catches than AJ Brown. I think Stephon Diggs did have more catches. And obviously it was some precipitous drop off on the last half of the last back half of the season. But I don't know if you can.
who's the not Tank Dell, but the other one? What's his name?
Nico
Nico. Yeah. What's his last name?
Collins.
Collins.
Don't do that
Okay,
like you
so
don't know who he is.
what was his last name again?
Collins.
Man, he
Nico
know exactly
Collins.
who he is.
Okay, yeah. No, I watched him play last year. So the technicians I feel out of all six, the best are Stephon Diggs is the best receiving technician of all six of them. Second best receiving technician, like pure hands, right? Is Tank Dell to me, right under Stephon Diggs. I'm talking about magnets. Talking about technicians as far as being a magnet. Right under that is Tank Dell. For me, right under that would be Devontae Smith. And you can put everybody else under that.
Well, I have AJ Brown on my fantasy team, and I would love to think he's a good and a great wide receiver one. Like I said, under Kellen Moore, CD Lamb had a pretty damn good year. I foresee, and AJ Brown had a monster year last year, so that's like his last 2 years. I think he's eclipsed well over 3,000 yards combined receiving in these past 2 years that he's had with Jalen. So, man, I don't see
That's gonna be
that.
good to watch.
Hey, I don't foresee that slowing down, but I get what you're saying. I'm not gonna say no to
But I ain't
anybody
gonna
that's
lie
giving the
to
Texans.
Darnell's point though. I think CJ Stroud puts his receiving core in better positions to succeed than Jalen Hurts will.
Yeah, he's
I
a
don't
better
think by
quarterback
much,
than Jalen Hurts.
I don't think by much, but I think he has the edge.
He's a better passer of the football than Jalen Hurts currently. Yes, he is. I don't think that's a far-fetched statement. And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is bad. This is not me
He just
saying
more
Jalen
accurate.
Hurts is a bad football player. I acknowledge that Jalen Hurts has gone to the Super Bowl.
CJ has a better IQ than Jalen Hurts.
I think at the quarterback position, that means an awful lot. Because IQ, kind of what IQ means to me is you don't turn the damn ball over and you know where to go with the football.
And you read the defense as well properly to know
Snap.
what to do next.
That's some big fucking attributes of a quarterback. So if you can do that better than somebody, I'd probably say you're probably better at quarterback than that person. But
I feel like Jalen is more of a quarterback you give the play to when he just kind of runs it.
Jalen
CJ's
is
more of
more
a player. He
accomplished
get
at the
out
moment.
there, he adjusts to what's going on. He's gonna figure out what's the best option to make. So with that being said, with having a quarterback that's gonna make the best option rather than
You
just
talking
like a
about
robot out there, technically a skilled robot, because he is very skilled. It's like, yeah, I'm definitely taking that quarterback that can, throw the ball away and know to do that and save the play rather than just, oh, I'm supposed to do this. Let me just do that. So yeah.
we talking about Jalen Hurts and CJ?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, give me CJ.
Granted, he's great, but he's a bit of a technical
Easy.
based off of his interception.
Super easy. Give me CJ. No disrespect to Jalen, who went to the Super Bowl and actually played one of the greatest Super Bowl performances ever. But again, give me Coleridge, Bernard, Stroud the fourth.
I ain't gonna say that. That's a bit too much. I'm not gonna say it.
Well, hey, his mama called him.
I'm gonna go pass. I'm
I'm calling him. Exactly.
Nah, man. Jalen threw for nearly 4,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, but had 15 interceptions. It wasn't his wasn't in the MVP discussion, throughout that season. And also too, talking about AJ Brown. AJ Brown had his first career 100 reception a game in the season with Jalen Hurts. Shoot, in a way, like with Jalen Hurts and like the work that he put in, like I wouldn't be surprised if he's like again in the running for MVP with the weapons he's got. Also with Barkley to complement him in the backfield. I definitely think like he got last season, left a bit of taste in like really the whole team off and him being somebody who's a leader. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Hurts came out looking for blood and being like, nah, y'all about to put my name back in the conversation of like one of the top, quarterbacks, top 5, top 3 type of caliber. But yeah.
Speaking of MVP.
Who y'all got for MVP this year?
CJ Stroud.
Yes, I love it.
CJ Stroud is about to have a 2008, 2009 Tom Brady type season. So you heard it here first on Respect the Game.
Nest now later. I think I'm gonna kick the horn.
I can see a world where CJ Stroud probably throws for 40 plus touchdowns.
The Ohio State Buckeye, Mr. CJ Stroud, will be the MVP.
I'm going to Vegas to put some money down on that too.
You know what? He's right behind Patrick Mahomes.
For best odds, huh?
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes plus.
Wow, it's not even a playable thing, bro. I should have did that shit 3 months ago.
Yeah, like Patrick Mahomes is at plus 475. CJ Stroud is right behind him with plus 850. As well as not Joe Burrow. Josh Allen and CJ Stroud are tied for plus 850. And then after
Oh yeah. No, I'm doing this. I'm doing it.
Do it, please. No, I want you.
Dak is gonna be MVP.
Are they giving Josh Allen better
Dak Prescott
MVP
gonna be
stats
MVP
than
now.
Dak
Not
Prescott?
that just lit a fire.
And Lamar Jackson.
DraftKings, they got Josh Allen at plus 850. Dak Prescott is at plus 1,800. And who is that you just said? Lamar is at plus 1,800. So Dak and Lamar got the same odds at plus.
I'm going with Dak. Thank you for that, God. I'm going with Dak.
I'm at least going to say Dak is going to have a better year than Josh Allen. I'll say that for sure.
If Lamar Jackson get MVP, I was close.
Hell no. Josh Allen's going to get exposed this year.
That That's what Sedacious has been waiting for now that he no longer has Diggs.
No,
Exactly.
not really. I've been on Josh Allen, ain't it?
Yeah, that this is confirmation that it's more of a confirmation for him, but I see him being absolute garbage. I don't think that
I'll
threat
take the
of a
title with
run
Dak
is
Prescott, but Josh
no,
Allen.
no, that threat of a run is dead with nobody else to be a fear of. You think Knox is gonna get it done? You think your other tight end is gonna get it done?
No
No,
more Gabe
absolutely
Davis
not.
as well, so it'll be interesting to see how
Right,
Keon
right.
Coleman and those other acquisitions, Curtis Samuel,
You
Mac
let Cole
Hollins.
Beasley go.
Quite, not quite.
Cole
Uh,
Beasley went hard for y'all. Y'all just dropped him.
Looking at these odds, speaking of these odds, to Sean Izzo first with this season and all this unfolding, and for y'all listening to this pod, this episode, we're gonna dedicate next week's episode, going into the NFL season, like to all things like betting, or at least for week one, rather. But Sean Izzo, what is a particular player or particular prop you anticipate being highly lucrative coming into this upcoming season?
Um, I'm looking at Garrett Wilson, I'm running back Garrett Wilson from last year, of having a breakout season because, like I said, he still managed to crack 1,000 yards with Zachary Wilson and Trevor Siemian as his quarterbacks, which is absolutely astonishing, to say the very least. So I'm just looking for anything Garrett Wilson oriented in the realm of targets, catches, yards. I look for Aaron Rodgers to give him a heavy dose of that Devontae Adams treatment. So look for him to have a 2021, 2022 Devontae Adams type season. I don't think that's too far-fetched. And another guy who I believe is going to catapult onto the scene this year. I think, bro, call me crazy. I know it's going to be a very run-heavy offense, but as far as two rookies, I don't think one of these is going to be surprising. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have over 1,000 yards receiving this year. Kyler Murray will literally force feed him the ball. Great route runner, great route runner. But Lad McConkey, man, for the Chargers, I believe in this guy, bro. I don't know why, but very savvy route runner. Looks like he has some good hands. I think he will quickly become a go-to blanket for Justin Herbert because, again, they don't have any receiver equity right now, any receivers that probably Justin really trusts that much. So two players to be on the lookout for, man. I think Lad McConkey and Garrett Wilson, which I don't think is going to be much of a secret either.
Do y'all think the start of the NFL season, in terms of like the success rate of betting, is similar to the start of the NBA season, or do you think it's different?
It's different, bro. Because it takes niggas a while to get it in football shape. And especially if you don't play a lot during the preseason, you can see the first couple games is kind of a little sluggish. And you don't really see people start to pick up pace really until week 3. Which will have been probably their last preseason game or first, you know what I mean? When you go by the numbers like that. So I don't think it's like basketball where motherfuckers come out the blocks blazing, they done played all summer. Like, football is different, bro. You got to get into football shape. You got to get a rhythm. You got to get a good team pulse. Now, a team can start out hot, but hard to gauge right now. But I don't think football kind of falls under that category.
That's a good note. That's a good note for the listeners. Don't treat it like the start of football season. Because football season, you could almost guarantee a nice 4-peat. Um, yeah, man. Shout out to Prize Picks. Yo, I want to have this conversation, man. I'll have to like research it more to see if there's anybody else who try to follow it. But I remember a while back, DraftKings, it was just talking about like the financial institution of like how their businesses ran. You would think, oh, it's a lot of people gambling and betting, like their company must be doing good, but that's not necessarily the case because they pump so much money into like endorsement
Advertisement and
advertisement, right, and endorsements with all the celebrities. And I just noticed with Prize Picks, I don't know if it's a substitution or it's an addition, but obviously when we came into the game of Prize Picks, you do that $100 deposit as a new user, you get that match. But now I see play $5 and we'll just give y'all 50. I said that to say
to commercial.
I said that to say like I don't know, like do y'all think or suspect that like Prize Picks is like trying to like keep their head above water, or do y'all think it's smooth sailing for them in terms of like their financial institution currently?
Competition, bro. Just keeping up with competition. That's all. That's what I personally think. I don't think they hurt for anything. Especially where they're at, they technically have become the leader, or at least the popular leader, maybe not financially. So I just think they just trying to make sure they stay in first place in all as many categories as they can. So that's at least my opinion.
Yeah, I'm curious to know. Yeah, because I don't know. I just looked at the scale back of the $100 match and scaling it back to just 50. I was just like,
You know what? You know what I see that as though? I see that as more so just corporate greed. When profits are high, what's one way that we can keep them high without giving
too
too
much
much, right? Because we hooked them in with those $100 deposit matches. Now that we got the type of traction and traffic that we want,
revenue.
come on, man, let's get hard on the hoe. Let's tighten up.
Yeah,
Let's squeeze as much, pennies out of them as we can,
Yeah,
Um,
because not everybody's coming now. Everybody,
right. So
it
now
don't
we don't
matter.
have to lure you in with these lucrative offers. We can give you the bare bones minimum and still be all right. It ain't really hurting our
And it
bottom
still run
line.
like hotcakes.
Come on. People losing every day, B.
yeah.
That's
No, it feels good.
what Martin. That's a business economics 101.
Nah, man, I'm back in the field, man. They lifted my play increase for the promo plays and the tacos and the free squares. So I'm back in the game, baby.
NDG, we back NDG this season, y'all. NDG this season, y'all. NDG, whatever you deposit at the beginning of the season, that's it.
I don't know, man. I'm a nigga who like to take chances, so
Chances make champions.
that's all I'm saying, bro. So I
Bro,
may not
you
be
can
at
still
six
do
foot
that.
hungry this year, but I'm definitely gonna be
And this is what I'm
twos,
speaking into your
threes, and
life. I'm
fours.
speaking into your life that you can still do that and still be NDG. I'm speaking that right now.
I gotta yeah, nah.
The winners is gonna be that close.
College football is already
Dubs
kicked
is gonna be
off.
that close.
Yeah,
Receive.
college football fully all the games kick off this week. So I'm just like Birdman hand rub. Yeah, I'm
But
saying like
it's gonna be
trying to
glorious,
find,
boy.
yeah. Yeah, a lot wiser, over the years in terms of betting. So yeah, man, I'm excited, but I'm trying not to, how that research get sucked
Right.
to that
Trying to get too
research
jittery. I
wormhole.
still struggle to get up and go to work. I'm like, football season here now. I quit.
Oh,
Put 50 on the 2 pick. Done.
um,
I'm
Super
thinking
Bowl picks.
$1,000 on 2 pick, but
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
if you really want to do it,
That's a week's worth.
week, man. Super Bowl pick. I got my Texans coming out of the AFC, man, but my mind is telling me the Chiefs probably go back to 3-peating it, but I love the AFC showdown of Texans and Chiefs, possibly in the AFC, and then man, for the NFC, if the Lions could have just kept running the damn ball, I think I like the Eagles this year, man. I just do, bro. I really do.
So
I
last year,
really
didn't
think
we
they do.
do the Super Bowl projections later in the season?
We did.
And
We
just
did them before the season.
Divisional.
We did it before the season,
Oh, okay.
and again, 2 years in a row. But who's counting?
Black Peace, I know you got to get out of here. So before you skirt, who do you got winning the Super Bowl? Or who are your Super Bowl picks, rather?
I know it's hard. Pause.
Man,
Don't do it. Right. Look to the skies for what coming for your help.
To the hills, who would come
And
to your help?
all Texas
the
Super
Lord
Bowl.
finna say bull. Right. The Lord gonna say bulls on parade.
All Texas Super Bowl, bro. All Texas
Yeah,
Super Bowl again.
Now you lost me.
Trolling, they
Say it again,
hating.
man. I'm gonna say it again.
Like
We
I know
definitely. I feel like Houston is definitely there. Dallas has
Cowboys ain't
potential.
shit.
If Dallas doesn't,
why the Cowboys though? Like we understand the Texans, but like what about it in like the Rostradamus sphere like got you thinking the Cowboys are gonna be successful?
This
I think
nigga's
last year may have been the last bad year to lose the way they lost.
All right.
I'm actually gonna, as a non, this is from a
You must don't know the
non-Cowboy
Cowboys, but
fan.
why? What's the
Right.
why? What's the
That's
reason?
somebody
What
who
I
you
just
got a
think?
really
brain
feel
of
like
their own.
that was probably, in my opinion, the worst one
They
in most
still have
recent
Mike
years.
McCarthy.
I feel like they felt like they were going to win. They were blowing teams out by 20 plus points on a consistent basis. They had a receiver that was unstoppable. Quarterback only had 3 horrible or bad games,
Just the
maybe
defense.
4. Defense was, oh my,
What's the
like, I
defense?
mean, come on. Like it was really starting to look like they actually could make it, whether you like them or not. And the way they lost, I kind of feel like it left that taste in their mouth where it's just like, we got to get back. So
We
I
lost to the
think
Lions.
that they may have humbled themselves to be able to possibly make a run. Hey man, I feel like the 49ers are going through their Seahawk phase, in my opinion. Which means that yes, they're great. Yes, they have a hell of a system, but I just don't think it's gonna stay. I just don't
I
see it
think
sticking.
I think they just getting started. I also look for this year to be a big time coming out party for Brock Purdy, just in terms of just like, miss me with all the narratives, da 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 da. Like, I think he gonna as if he hasn't already been playing great. I just think there's gonna be like no question left unturned. Not necessarily true, because even when like he don't have those pieces and those guys was injured, he struggled. But I got the Texans, and I'm gonna go. The 49ers are gonna find a way to get back.
Bro, they gonna be I forgot what team that is as far as the NBA
The
wise.
Bills. Oh, I thought you were talking about how the Bills like keep them winning like 4 straight or 3 straight or 3 or whatever it was, but they ain't never
What team
won.
keep going to the finals and keep losing in the NBA?
The Cavaliers at one point.
I was gonna say them too, but I was trying so hard.
I mean, obviously, post, yeah, I
But
mean,
they not a similar comparison because team structure vastly different. You get LeBron James all that talent, he gonna do
yeah.
it.
but nonetheless, still just constantly getting there.
It's a feat in itself, whether people want to admit that or not. Even though they don't give out participation trophies.
Yeah,
So, Tush, you think the Texans are good enough to beat out the Chiefs right now?
I'm glad you asked me that because I wanted to expound upon it. Could they possibly beat the Chiefs? I would like to believe so, right? But what I need to happen, what I think needs to happen in order for the Texans to come out of the AFC is the Chiefs and the Ravens, they have to go through each other before we have to play one of them. So we need for one of them to already be knocked out so we could play just one of them to get to the Super Bowl as opposed to having to go through both of them. I think that's what we need. DeMeco Ryans.
So y'all need. Yeah, okay, I got you. That's just gaming right there. Okay.
Like DeMeco Ryans being a defensive player, defensive-minded head coach, our defense being very, very respectable and constantly growing. Like I don't with CJ. You talk about complimentary football. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is like great. Obviously, Lameezy's great. Then you got Derrick Henry. But like, if our defense could be like anywhere between, I mean, just top five. That's really all. Just a top five defense. I don't see why we can't get to the Super Bowl. And like I said, like that schedule that they got coming out towards the end of the season, that being the Chiefs. I think that's gonna be tough to like manage, bro. Like they got you playing on, like I say, you playing on Friday, Saturday, Wednesday, you playing on Christmas, like trying to manage practice, rest, preparation. I think that's gonna cause them to be out of sync. Like again, the rest and recovery, would it take a toll on their bodies with injuries? So I think all that going against the Chiefs is the reason why they're not going back to the Super Bowl. And if they're not going back to the Super Bowl, who better else than us? Although that's going to be a tough feat trying to get through the Ravens potentially, because I do not want to be on anybody's team trailing, losing to the Baltimore Ravens, and I can't get the ball back because all they're doing is running it. But that's how we're going to get to the Super Bowl if the Ravens and the Chiefs both have to take one another out before they get to us. So therefore, we only got to go through one gauntlet, if you will, to get to the Super Bowl. And I think the NFC, NFC, I think is all about I like Izzo's analysis of the Eagles, and I feel like ain't much change, obviously, outside of Brandon Ayuk in that situation and the chemistry there. But like, why not the 49ers? NFC between the 49ers and the Eagles as of right now. But I don't know. Did you pick the Eagles or the Lions, Izzo, for the Super Bowl or to come out of the NFC? I don't remember. But
I did pick the Lions because of their defense, but I'm looking for the Eagles to have a new improved defense with Vic Fangio, in addition to Devin White and CJ Gardner-Johnson coming back. So, and then they got two good young corners in the draft. So, just looking for the Eagles to be overall better. So, I think I got it as a Eagles Lions NFC champ. I say Eagles Lions NFC championship game. They still got to figure out Ayuk and Trent Williams, and if they don't, and if they're intricate pieces like those are missing, I think that could be enough for the Eagles and Lions to slip past them. Even with the addition of wide receiver, first round of Ricky Pearsall.
It's really hard to call my Super Bowl right now. Because on one end, I want to say Lamar Jackson get there this year. But on another end, it's like, well, Patrick Mahomes can still very well depot the whole league. On the NFC side, Green Bay looks good all around. But then the Eagles look good all around. So I guess it would edge out So I would say Ravens is an all-bird Super Bowl, maybe. Ravens and Eagles, if not the Cowboys. I don't think we don't look like a well-rounded team just yet. Well, the only time will tell.
You on
And that's
mute.
what I love about the NFL, because we have all these predictions, but you still got to play. They still got to play the game. So just see how it all shakes out. It's the fun of it, because some random ish might happen that nobody ever saw coming.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be fun. We didn't really dive into college football. We're gonna talk about college football some coming up next week. But yeah, man, this is a great episode. Many more to come as we get the football season kicked off. NBA coming up here pretty soon. Yeah, man, this is what you call a great
I
episode.
do want to say this. Hot take: Byron Murphy, the second defensive player of the year.
Byron Murphy. Okay.
Rookie of the year, I think, is evident for me, Caleb Williams.
Jared Verse, defensive end for the Rams, defensive rookie of the year, in my opinion. And then offensive rookie of the year, I'm going to go in a slightly different direction. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels.
Plus 500.
I like that. I'll
Plus
take that.
500. Beautiful people, that is what you call another great episode. Don't take y'all listening to us for granted. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the podcast, YouTube, and y'all can check us out anywhere. But definitely make sure you share us with y'all mama and them. Great episode. Thank y'all. We look forward to having a great NFL season and finishing out the year strong. Love you, beautiful people. We will see you next week.